Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, salutations, greetings, g'day, whatever it is, the language you speak. How are you? Welcome back to Rugged Rails. Okay, so the last time I was working on the turntable project, said we'd get back with a few changes, and you can see we're working our way through things. At the moment, I've done a browned or ready browned the sides of all the track. I don't remember if the fence was installed on the actual turntable. I've done a cheapish, amateurish version of blue stone over there, which I need to slightly improve. The backdrop there is a picture that I want to use. I don't know if I'm going to use it on this, but it's just a trial that I wanted to look at. I don't know if you can see the brown if I close in on both sides of the rails. Actually, you can see it there, that it's like a rusty coloured. Of course, we can't have the top looking that way. And I applied some more green paint, this is our track rubber, around the grass areas, and I'm contemplating putting that curve in instead of the straights just sitting there, and I'll explain that in a minute. Everything's still running really well. Bit of fine tuning here and there has happened. Now I'm going to use this, I believe, as the head shunt, if you want to call it that, or the fiddle yard. It's got to be set up slightly different. That's why this curve's going to come into play over here. I'll run one of my favourite locos. Ooh, maybe put it the right way, it might be more. So I've got 3 of these, and the old gremlin's kicked in. It was running back and forwards there beautifully. There we go. So, as you can see, she's running through there fairly well. There is a little slight problem though. Just excuse my shoddy camera work here for a minute while I get some things out of the way. I believe it's got something to do with either a bit of dirty track let's have a look. Possibly is. Let's find out if I'm right. So they're really, really good runners, these little locos. Yeah, I think that's what it was. So I'll run it back again, as it would on a turntable. And you can see that's lined up pretty good, pretty smooth. And so this section here will be where I store the locos. Probably needs a clean as well, I would say. Yep. So I should have cleaned it before I did the video, but that's okay. So I'm using this old control here, which is one of my favourites for these videos. But it's not a favourite for realistic speeds at times. I'll just come back. There's definitely some dirty track at play there. Interesting. Or is it just the controller? Might be the controller. So, getting back to where we were. That took my attention away. So I'm happy with progress so far. Now the next section I have to do, I'm going to be putting some core flute, which I'll grab a piece of core flute. In case you don't know what it is. Some core flute. Sorry about all the running around. And that will go on the sides of the module, diorama, whatever you want to call it. So it'll be like the side of this one, the other project. So you won't be able to see any of the white foam. So I hope I'm making sense with my plan. Now the other thing that I want to talk about is I put all these in, buffer stops, but some of them are 00 scale like you can see, but they do the job, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm trying not to spend any money on these projects at the moment because I've got lots of bits and pieces I can use. So it's progressing well, a bit of a standstill in some ways because I wanted to make sure the layout itself is working well. The idea is for this section here, go over to it, is that we'll be able to run 2 locos back into there. I'll bring this steam loco back over. Definitely need a clean over there. I don't know why it's making a monkey out of me today, but it does happen when you're doing these videos. People say, why aren't you in the videos? I don't have the answer. So yeah, so this will be the fiddle yard. Then you can place 2 locos there and still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 others. So you can make this into a layout simply with this section, or even without this section. You could just use that main part. Run your locos back and forward, on and off. That small section over there is just going to have some wheels placed on it, same as that one over there on the left hand side of the control box. But the others are big enough to take small locos, and that's what will happen. But this can be an independent module by itself, which was always my plan. But it's also going to be part of the other project, which is going to be on a separate video release today. And I would recommend, if you can pick up a turntable cheap like I did, that was $45 Australian, no controllers, nothing. The wiring still has to be attached back over here, but I can use a 9-volt battery on that at the moment if I want to. Actually, I'll grab a 9-volt battery. Let's set this camera up so that it catches the train, comes around. There we go, our little steamer against the PD's printed parts on eBay with these couple of tramway style carriages. So yeah, I'm really enjoying working on this, and I see a lot of turntables. Whoa, that was a good shot of it. Perhaps we'll move that back there. a lot of turntables are just set up on a big layout. Not independent like this, like a module like this size. So that's where we are. Things are moving along. I'm going to put a wall at this end. I'm in quite long discussions with my assistant, the missus, about whether or not something's going to work, which I'll grab that for you now. And you can have a look and tell me if you think it's a good idea, because I get thousands and thousands and thousands of requests on my videos to say, when are you going to do your next video? And I always say, all right, don't be impatient, I'll get there, hang on. For some reason I can't find what I'm looking for, but I will find it and then I'll post it in another video, maybe just a topic of discussion, whether you think it looks good there or not. But yeah, happy to hear any comments, likes, dislikes. You send a dislike. Everyone's entitled to their own thing. Windsor Valley Railroad, Liz, I think it is, sent me a message the other day saying, you know, it's your railway, you can do whatever you want with it. I totally agree with that, always have. Yeah, and then just before I sign off today on this one, I've just set up, we've got a new table. So I took the kitchen table and I've set up these two Barkman easy tracks on here. My plan is to just have these running. Obviously I'll do a little bit more work to make it look a bit more environmentally appealing, but nothing dramatic. And I can have this module in the centre like it is, and I'll update you with some more progress on that. But I'm going to elevate, I think, this track here, and I think you're going to be surprised what I elevate it with and how it works. And I think when I do it, probably a lot of people will laugh, but believe me, I've done it the same type of thing with this track before, and it looks pretty good. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you watched the whole video. If you haven't stayed to the end, well, thanks for even stopping by. If you did stay to the end, sorry about that unpaid pause, and I look forward to hearing from the thousands of viewers that I get in regards to what they think. All right, Rugged Rails, over and out.